And welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Sentimiento Latino number 135, your weekly dose of Latin American StarCraft. Welcome, everyone. I'm of course your host, VIP, and with me currently, I am solito. I am alone, but I am with these two lovely players right here. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we haven't seen him in solo in like a month, 2 months. It's insane, mate. It's insane how long we've been deprived from our Peruvian Terran player representing Team Super. It is Tavo. And speaking of not seeing someone for a very long time, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Inside and Out. It's just Inside and Out. There's no LE, there's no ESL, there's nothing there. Representing himself and using his old clan tag of Team Dust Gaming. It is the Mexican Terran, Sinner. It's Sinner. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh my god. It's been... we haven't casted Sinner in like 7 months. It's been a very long time. It's been an insanely long time since we've seen Sinner. He has been active in the scene. He has been playing 2v2s. For those who don't know, Sinner is one of the best Terrans in Latin America, or he was one of the best Terrans. Up there with the likes of you know, your specials, your Kelazers, maybe not on that level, but like very strong nonetheless, and always a treat to see. But he was never very active. He would show up every couple of months, you know, once every qualifier, maybe once every Sentimiento Latino, every 10 or 20 Sentimiento Latinos. It's been a very long time. What he does do a lot nowadays is he plays a lot of team games. He's all about those team games, and it is a little bit sad. It is a little bit sad that is the case. But regardless, like, it's just really cool to see him return. Just because I want to see how good is he nowadays. He does stream relatively frequently, but again, he streams team games. Nothing but team games. Shaking my head. As you already see, things popping off a little bit here. Ooh, Tavo does shoot first. He does already weaken up one of those Reapers, but with a second Reaper, Tavo has to respect that. He has to back the hell up, loses his first Reaper, and what's scary is that we have mass Reaper behind this. 3 Raxes in total here from Sinner. Tavo has no idea. He didn't get into the main base. He's going for a standard opener. He's going for his CC on the low ground. He's going for his Cyclone as well. He has to buy time. He has to try and survive long enough for that Cyclone to come out. Oh boy, oh boy. Meanwhile, already that CC is being delayed. Doesn't matter, that CC isn't going to come into play. I mean, mate, Sinner is one basing right now. I'm looking to take his own expansion at some point, but again, these Reapers have already done their job. They've already delayed this CC a little bit, and they can delay it even further. Again, the Cyclone is still a ways off. Sinner still has that Reaper advantage. Meanwhile, again, massive shout out to everyone else in the chat. I do apologize for coming live a little bit late. The tournament did start at the top of the hour, 47 minutes ago. But I'll be honest, I was watching Home Story Cup last night, and I slept in. My GG! We slept in a little bit, and wow. Wait, hold on. Did we cancel the Cyclone? Am I crazy? I apologize if I missed that, but did the Cyclone just never come out? I'm going to assume it didn't. Oh my god. Yeah, the Reapers rock up. They kill the first 2 Reapers of Tavo, or the second 2 I should say, and GG. Oof. Rough loss there for our Peruvian Terran player. And again, I don't think this is really kind of displaying the kind of notoriety that I was trying to hype up for Sinner. Like, Sinner, he wasn't necessarily a cheesy player. He's more of a macro-oriented player, I felt. Regardless, like, he's kind of a legend in his own right, and it's cool to see him here. A little bit before Tavo's time, when Tavo was rising, Sinner was kind of petering off a little bit. So it's really cool to see them once again here, or to see Sinner once again here, duking it out with some of the young blood. You know, Tavo is like the fresh talent on the scene, and Sinner is like the old guard. But Sinner is up 1-0 now. It's a TvT. Sometimes it be that way. Oh boy. Here we go. But yeah, I assumed the cyclone had finished up and we were going to be okay and things were going to be good, because if the cyclone was still alive, then if the cyclone was there, then we can get a repair. Even if there were a little bit too many reapers, like the game could have gone on, but tis not this game. Here we go. We are loading on in. Hopefully Tavo isn't too tilted by that last game. Again, very unorthodox opening from our Mexican Terran. Hopefully he can just shrug it off and we can get into this. Again, it's the first time we're actually casting Tavo and Sinner, to be fair, on the new maps. I see Paco in the chat. Tell Sinner that this isn't a 2v2 tournament. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. That's why it's so cool to see him here. He's playing 1v1, puppy. Meanwhile, here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire. Just Cosmic Sapphire. It's going to take a while getting used to that. We have a Peruvian Terran player representing Team Super. It is Tavo. Oi, este Paco Mike está en el chat. Mate, why are you not in the bracket? Why are you not in the bracket? No, wait, no, he is! He is in the bracket! It's crazy! It's spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have his compadre. We have his countryman, the Mexican Terran. Representing Dust Gaming, question mark. It is Sinner. Oh my god. You know, I exaggerated my yawn in the last game, and now I actually had to yawn. I'm still waking up. But yeah, massive shout out to Pocket Mike in the chat. Yo, we've got Iron Ringed as well as our first quacker. Quack, 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 quack. Nice, nice. Came here to praise the Zerg Lord. Yes, we are going to be casting the Zerg Lord later on. He is in this portion of the bracket. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. It is a pretty stacked bracket. Everyone is here. Ryu, the Zerg Lord, Eggs, Jim Rising, Pocket Mike, Master, Tavo, Sinner. We have the best of the best. We're only missing like Chaos Fate, but like we can never rely on Chaos Fate. I mean, let's be real. But yeah, there's only a handful of players that we're really missing here, so it's going to be an insane bracket. It's great to see. It is beautiful. It is juicy, and I cannot wait to sink my teeth into it. Already, things are taking a bit of a turn. Again, I've got a lot of expectations for Tavo. He is that next generation of Latin American player. But already struggling a little bit. I say struggling, you know, game one, it was a wonky game, right? 3 racks Reaper. It's not normal. It's not orthodox. It's not what we expect to see in current meta. So I don't blame Tavo too much. I'm just worried that maybe, like, he can be an emotional player, you know? Like, sometimes things can affect him. So hopefully he can stand strong. Hopefully he can, you know, keep his head on his shoulders. As he takes out the first Marine, he's going to be able to take out this SCV as well. Can he delay the natural CC? It looks like he won't be able to. It looks like a Marine is going to get here just in time to zone him away, but only zone away because the Reaper gets into the main, and now we have a full scout in the main. This is important. If you remember, last game, he didn't get into the main. Last game, he couldn't see the opener. Now he knows, okay, only 1 racks. Okay, we have a factory follow-up. Like, things are looking much more normal. So Tavo can actually get into his mid game. Ooh. Meanwhile, he will lose the Reaper, which means he's going to lose the ability to go for a follow-up scout. So he's going to be in the dark when it comes to the exact opener here. When it comes to the fact that this is a 1-1-1, potentially the timing of the 3rd CC, also the add-ons as well, which will tell him what units exactly are coming out. Which is why we see a second Reaper. Second Reaper rocks in, he confirms the starport. He's going to try and get a kill on one of these workers, but just forces a little bit of lost mining time. It's not the worst thing in the world. And he's going to, oh my god. He's going to be caught out just barely by that Hellion. Thinking about maybe zooming in, but does think better of it. Meanwhile, back at home, Tavo opening up a little bit more safe and standard. Did already go for his first tank, and he's going for his own medevac. Both players, by the way, are going for medevac openings, which means they both want to go for drops across the map. They both want to be aggressive. Looks like more of a Hellion drop being set up here for Sinner. Tavo, he should be going across the map with his tank. There we go. First tank is on the way. And depending on the positioning, like this this main is pretty big. He could potentially go into the main, he could potentially siege and kill this add-on. Specifically, the reactor is under threat. Things are going to get a little bit crazy. Cyclone node home to defend. The Hellions get just deflected immediately. Drop is still going out. Both drops actually run into each other. Do they see each other though? That's kind of the big question here is, oh my god, there we go. He sieges up and that add-on, that reactor is, oh my god, it's disgorged, mate. At the same time, Marine drop into the main base. It's a lot of Marines. These Marines are vanilla, by the way. They don't have stim, they don't have combat shields, they don't have +1, so they can't deal that much damage, but they have to be respected, and already getting a couple of SCVs. Oh my god, can they get the tech lab? Oh, it looks like they very well may. Oh, the medevac barely survives as well. Would you have, oh my god, no! Oh. We do have the Cyclone rock up, and the drop gets shut down across the map. The tank is still alive. The add-on has to be rebuilt. This will interrupt Marine production, so this is a great start here for Tavo. He picks up, and he doesn't overstay his welcome. He's going to come back home. Solid choice here. You know, he defends beautifully. He shuts down the drop. He takes down some add-ons, you know, kills some Marines, and then comes back home. He is behind when it comes to the worker production though, and that's what I'm a little bit concerned about. I mean, part of that is because Sinner did kill some SCVs, so to be fair, but Tavo, with his map control, this is possible. He can get his third on location. If he hadn't killed so many units earlier, it would have been very difficult and very ballsy to make this happen, but killing the medevac, he can be pretty certain that, okay, like, I'm safe at home. Ooh. Meanwhile, here he goes, rotating around now with 2 tanks. Has to be careful. He can get in range of that bunker. Meanwhile, he spots the Banshee. Oh my god. And Cloak is not done yet, so much damage. Oh my god, he even snipes the Banshee in the end. Didn't even have to waste a scan there. Meanwhile, Sinner does scan himself, salvages his bunker just in time. He has plenty of tanks, but he just lost his medevac, and he also lost his Banshee. He doesn't really have much map control at all. Does have a Viking, man, you gotta respect that. Tavo is gonna back off. Again, playing this very safe. He got a Banshee, he got a bunker, then he leaves, right? Like, he is on match point, you know. I should say Sinner is. Sinner only needs 1 more win, so Tavo doesn't want to throw this away. Speaking of throwing it away though, Sinner is moving out 4 tanks now. He does have a second Banshee. He's actually not stopping Banshee production. Very interesting move. He does have Cloak, if I'm not wrong. Quickly checking, yes, he did end up researching Cloak, so he wants to make use of it. He wants to get some value out of these Banshees. Meanwhile, Tavo does have a superior main army. He has 2 Ravens, so disables are king in TvT. But he's going to be a little bit distracted because at the same time that Banshee is going to slip in. Auto turrets are thrown down in a bit of a panic there from Tavo, just zoning Sinner away. At the same time, Banshee does get into the main base, does focus down that Cyclone. Cyclone barely survives. We have a scan, but we don't have a lock on. Ravens are forced to defend here instead. Ravens and Vikings are going to shut down the Banshee, but that means that they're not going to be a part of the main fight. Sinner backs off in the end though. He knows he just doesn't have enough. Oh, and the Banshee bypasses the army. 2 SCVs going down, 3 SCVs going down for 1 Banshee. Is it worth it? Not yet, but a second Banshee rocks up. 5, we're going to get 6, we may get 7, just barely not. So in the end, it was 3 Banshees in total for 6 SCVs. We can't say that's worth it. So the point of those Banshees is you're meant to push with your main army and then slip in with your Banshees. And as your opponent is distracted, and as they're forced to commit extra supply to defend, then you can make some headway with your main army. The Banshees didn't quite do that though. It wasn't quite lined up correctly, and Sinner just didn't have enough with his main force to really make anything happen. So yeah, the Banshees didn't really pay for themselves. Tavo feeling in a great position here. He's still behind when it comes to the workers though. Like, I have to give credit where credit is due. Sinner, his overall SCV production and macro does seem to be a little bit better than Tavo's. Tavo, it feels like he has maybe better like build orders and better overall control. But when it comes to the economy, like, Sinner is thriving. Like, he's got 81 workers, he's got 4 bases, getting fully saturated. Right now, he's down in supply, down in army supply, but that's okay. He's playing mech. We have more factories being thrown down. Like, he's going to slow the game down and eventually catch up. That's why we have so many tanks. That's why we're getting these siege lines up and running. And to see the mech player up in bases and up in economy is usually something that we don't see. So this is where I have to worry a little bit more here for Tavo. Tavo, he's meant to have a more mobile army. He's meant to have a better economy. He's meant to, right now, have map control. And he does have map control. But what's he doing with that map control? Like, he's taking his 4th now. Honestly, he should be double expanding. He should be trying to, like, again, not just catch up, but exceed his opponent. And try to be active and make it difficult for Sinner to take a 4th base. Now it's a little bit too late. The 4th is now up and running. The Tavo is going to poke in. I think these are going to be his first signs of this being mech. He wasn't quite able to get a full-up scout earlier, but here we go. Tanks are here, missile turrets as well. We do see some disables though, and this siege line is looking a little bit too thin. With these siege lines, it looks like Tavo is going to kind of break through a little bit, but there are 4 tanks in the mineral line. He cannot break this base. Oh, and Tavo loses a lot trying to do so here. He's going to be forced back as well. Forced to land all of his Vikings, and he needs to get the hell out of here. Like, the Viking count is too great here for Sinner. The defensive position is too strong as well. I didn't notice these 4 tanks to begin with, and now I think Tavo does. Now he knows, oh, I am against mech. Immediately, Marauder production has commenced. We do thankfully have a bunch of tech labs on Raxus already to continue that Marauder production. And there we go, he's going for a bit of a drop. This is really smart because he knows that the Vikings are out of position. Oh, but he's going to lose a lot here across the map. Everything gets cleaned up. And even though these Vikings were busy towards the south, now that the army isn't here anymore, Sinner, he knows he rotates over towards the north. Sinner already taking a 5th base here. Looking at his vision, he hasn't seen the drop yet. The drop has been able to skirt around the edges of the map for the time being, but we do have a ring of turrets here, and I don't know if the drops can make it through. Can all 3 survive? Oh, it looks like they barely will. Marines do get into the main base. Thankfully, Tavo can finally deal some damage. Gets a depot, could get a little bit more damage done as well. Dives on top of the tank. And he will get it in the end. Going to focus down a couple of add-ons as well. This will help slow down the production. Gets a 2nd tank. He's getting more damage than he really should have, to be honest. A couple of turrets as well, just to make it a little bit easier. Anything he can get done here will help. Even gets a 3rd turret. Forces a massive response here from Sinner. And now the main army is coming in. A lot was drawn here into the main base, but we still have a ring of tanks on the outskirts. We have a scan. Tavo sees the main army rotating over. Ooh, does get a Raven. Nice pick off, as Sinner is trying to get into Corvid reactors. It does finish up. He's trying to go into mass Raven production. He does already have the air superiority, the air control. But Sinner's getting his 5th. That's the thing, right? A meching player with a better economy is a terrifying thing. Oh boy. We'll see. Tavo is trying to reinforce here as well. A frontal assault isn't really going to work out here, but you know, he chips away at the army. He gets rid of the rooks. He sets himself up for a follow-up push, but his army gets scanned. Sinner has eyes on everything. Oof. Yeah, Tavo playing with fire here, takes a couple of tank volleys to the face. GG gets called! And Sinner takes the series 2-0. Wow. I mean, to be fair, Tavo recognizes how behind he was. He basically confirmed, hey, you have a 5th base, and I can't stop it. I cannot do anything about your 5th. There are too many tanks. I'm too far behind. I could try and draw this out, but it looks like Tavo doesn't want to play that kind of game out. GG gets called and Sinner moves on. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Sinner. 2 very different games. Game 1, hyper aggression, game 2, hyper defensive play. Sinner just turtled the hell up, and yeah, Tavo just couldn't break that shell, that defensive position there of Sinner. Aye. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But congratulations to Sinner. He's going to move on to the round of 8, where he's going to be waiting for a Zerg player, the winner of Eon versus the Zerg Lord. And that's kind of what we're waiting for. That's why we're in this portion of the bracket. Exclamation mark me in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves.